Sweet. And then I'm just going to jump over into the Inner Circle training.
While you're doing that, JT, I'm going to just do a quick official welcome for anyone that watches this video later. So welcome, everybody. This is the Inner Circle Mastermind and Coaching Call for February. We're super excited to be here. If you are watching this call recorded, just as a reminder, you can ask questions through the Voxer app, and we would love to help you through anything you need help with here. So I'm going to throw it over to JT. He's going to run the training, or he's going to guide us through the training today, and we'll probably pause and talk about things and ask questions as we go.
All right. Just hold on one second here. This shared my one screen. All right. Cool. Awesome. So can you guys see my screen all right? Should see the goals for today. New tools.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. So these are kind of what I wanted to go over today. Just make sure that we're going. So for the goals, I want to make sure that we're going to be setting up some new engagement-based audiences and kind of working on tracking those and being able to understand a little bit more about how that kind of all works and how to create lookalike data based on your engagement that you're already getting, so that we can find more people who have more of an interest to engage with you on Facebook, and we can filter some motivation there, hoping to get some better conversions for you guys and some faster deals through the engagement audiences. So just make sure as we go along, ask questions like Kylie said over the Voxer app, and we'll be sharing insights on how we're doing things. And then I wanted to go over some new tools that I've seen in Facebook, as well as some stuff that I've seen outside of Facebook to help enhance your ads that you're creating. So one of them inside Facebook is called the campaign budgets. I don't know if you guys have dabbled in that before, but it's an awesome tool that I've been using and testing, and I've seen it work really well, especially when you have multiple ad sets and you don't know which one you want to push more money to. You are basically turning over the ad sets to Facebook to use its algorithm to figure out what feed or what ad, like what audience is going to like work better. And there's a couple of different things you can do with this. Like you can, they all have to be with the same goal. So you could do it within like lead forms, let's say. And let's say you have a tax list, you've got equity, you've got maybe some retargeting, and you want to see which ones are going to perform better. You can actually just put on the campaign budget and select, let's say, $20 a day. And it's going to break that $20 a day between all three of those ad sets, but it's going to allocate the most money to the one that's performing best. So based on what your conversion goals are and the engagement that you're getting, it's going to decide which ad set is better and will provide you the most results and allocate more money to it. So it's an awesome way if you have like some questions about different audiences that you are trying to run some money to, and it's a little bit easier than split testing. So it's a really awesome new tool that they've kind of let out in the last couple months.
What, and that was the which one was that, JT?
It's a campaign budget optimization.
Okay. Is that pretty easy to set up? So you just basically, this is at the start of a new campaign, right? So you go to create a campaign. Because I always I've noticed that for sure on mine that I have no system for like what audiences. I'm just like, okay, well, I just try to just rotate them, just to make sure. But so this basically does that for you automatically, and you could just put in your daily budget and it'll just shoot it out to different audiences, right?
Yeah. So what you got to do is for each audience, you'll create an ad set for it, and then it will optimize for which audience is performing best. So, because it'll optimize by ad set. So it'll say, okay, you know, if we put tax in one audience and then we put an equity in the other audience, it based off of the performance, it's going to put, you know, if tax is getting more clicks and more leads, then it's going to put more money to it and less money towards the equity. So it's kind of a way to like have Facebook manage your budget with the AI that they have. So.
Yeah, and it's only gonna work if you have multiple ad sets inside a single campaign. JT, do you ever put a retargeting campaign in with a retargeting ad set in with a prospecting ad set, and then do budget optimization? You keep those separate?
It depends on like how far along the campaign is. So, for example, if we have like a new client who is not performing, like has not like performed on Facebook before, so their retargeting campaign is really low, then I will put it in with those with that campaign with like a conversions, just because I don't want to allocate all my money towards the retargeting, but Facebook will still send some money towards it when it thinks it will perform. So that's what I've been doing recently. Once I have enough, audience in there, I'll take the retargeting out and just keep prospecting campaigns in there. So it depends. It's like more of a timing with your campaign.
Cool. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Great.
Cool. The second tool, kind of like, it's more of a notification. I've been getting lots of notifications on accounts about more video feed placement. And I think that's just Facebook trying to remind me that they are putting a lot more of the videos into video feeds as people are just scrolling through watching random videos, which obviously has been a trend on Facebook and has been one of the things that's caused it to grow. So I think understanding that when you're filming some of your videos is important, that this can be in people's video feeds that randomly pop up. So it's smart to think, people might be watching like videos of, I don't know, real estate investing, or they might be watching videos of, it could be really anything. And knowing that your video might change for the ad. So understanding that the video feed placement is becoming more of a priority. Think about that when you're filming like your testimonials and your intro videos and about us videos. The third one is page quality. And this is actually a new little function that they just threw in this last month on your page that you manage. All you have to do to find it is you go up to your settings and then you click on more, and then it pops up a little page quality. And what they're doing with that is they're going to let you know if you are going against any of Facebook's, their like advertising issues, or like if you have anything that's going against what their like terms of agreement are, or any content that's being banned from being shown, it's going to tell you there. And so you want to watch that just in, it's something to keep in mind. And it's something that they're saying is going to grow on their Facebook news they've been talking about. It's something that they're going to start adding more emphasis on. So making sure that your page quality doesn't have any dings against it, and if it does, fixing those things. And then that way you're optimized and you're on the good side of Facebook, and they're not going to be punishing you by not allowing followers seeing what you're posting and such.
I had a question in reference to that. So Are they taking into account, like, sometimes people go crazy on the comments, and I really try not to delete any comment unless it's like they're calling somebody out or they're cussing or something.
Yeah.
So is there any way that could ever go against you if you leave certain comments up that they didn't?
It didn't mention that the comments will be going against it, but I imagine if it goes against something like more deep terms and agreement. So if it's going against some of their like advertising policies about things that you can talk about or that you can't talk about, then I would suggest probably removing it. But if it's not as serious as that, as of right now, they haven't said that they would ding you for it.
Yeah, exactly. This is more about the terms and services. And That being said, Zach, like if you get a lot of complaints on your ads, so not comments, but people can like flag an ad as inappropriate or offensive, or I don't want to see this ad or whatever, which is going to happen. Even if you're the coolest brand and company in the world, like people are still going to do that. So that'll happen. And there's no indication that that's going to go on the page quality score. It can impact deliverability.
Yeah, that's just like the relevance, right? I mean,
yeah, that's part of the relevance score. Yeah, you're right. So that can have an impact, but comments shouldn't have an impact unless, again, you were being really abusive in the comments and people were reporting you. That'd be a different story.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Awesome. Sweet. And then the last two tools that I put in are tools to help with creation of ads. They're things that I've played around with. We haven't tested them 100% yet, but they're things that I've enjoyed playing with on a personal level. And one's called Pixaloop. And what that does, I don't know if you've ever played with it, Zach.
Yeah, I did, man. Shit, like back in last summer, I was messing with it. And then I stopped, but it was actually a pretty good little ad set. So that's crazy that you brought it up. I just saw the little guy, the little logo thing.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like you could do so many things on there.
Yeah, it's awesome. And for people who don't know about it, basically what Pixaloop does is it takes a still image and creates it into a cinematograph. So you are able to control pixels in the picture and cause them to move. And there's different little sets that you can add to it. So it'll automatically crop out backgrounds and you can change the background on it and cause like a moving sky or moving trees and such. And a lot of people use this for ads because it captures people's eyes. And so it's a really good way to put some variety in your ads. So, and it uploads as a video, and you can upload it straight from the app to your Facebook. So it's awesome, and it'll be optimized well. And then Video Leap, I don't know if you played with this one either, but it's by the same company. Super, super cool. It allows you to crop out different videos and add them to other videos. You can put text over your videos. You can do a voiceover on your videos. You can add different color schemes and make some different changes to it. So it's a cool thing to play around with if you're getting more into video creation. And I wouldn't say Video Leap is as important for ads as Pixaloop could be, but I think Video Leap could be really good for organic content that's changed up and a little bit more creative, so that you could add to your page and get some engagement from organic followers that you have, because it's going to be stuff that catches people's eyes. I've seen some really cool things on it. So definitely something that could be cool to add in. Awesome. And like we mentioned before, remember, ask us questions over Voxer. Implement our top performing ads that we're trying to send every month. If you are having any questions about implementing those, let us know, and then give your feedback on strategies that are working for you guys. We love to hear what's working and what's not. And with that, last month, since we've got you here, Zach, did you try the instant experience in Canvas ads?
Dude, I did, but I figured, so I got about halfway through creating one, and then I got a little worried that I wasn't actually doing it, I guess, right.
Okay.
So I wanted to see if there's a way that I can maybe, pay a little bit more on this one or something, so it's worth your time to just maybe do that. Because I was just a little confused at there was just so many different things that it asked for, and then like certain images and stuff. But no, I didn't. I was actually having a little bit of a hard time like creating it.
Okay.
Just 'cause I didn't know if it was right.
Yeah, awesome. And that's great feedback for me. Just so that I know, and maybe what we can do is do I can record a screen share, and we can kind of send that out. 'Cause I'm sure if you're having some issues with that, and you're pretty advanced in your Facebook skills. So, I'm sure that other people have had the same questions. So I'll look a little bit deeper into that and see if we can create something that will kind of walk you through step by step and web, like screen shared or something.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I know that's kind of a bummer that I didn't do it, so we don't really have any feedback on it. But I definitely want to try it for the next one because I think like you guys said, they tend to favor like the newest thing, and this is the newest thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
And the other option too there, Zach, is if you're still stuck or if you're ever at a point where you just want to do like a full kind of one-on-one coaching audit, we can still do that kind of like we used to, like get on the phone for an hour and chat through it. So
yeah, because I like that. I love like I want to do both, but I also like I want to be able to like implement some of those things that we used to do, Kylie, like where you tell me like, oh, like this is the goal, and then I can come back and just see how I did with that. Because I like both ways that we do it.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, we can chat after this, JT, and either you and I or JT and you, and we'll get something set up.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Yeah. And so with my experience doing it for some other clients that I've been running, I've seen it work really well. And in my mind, I didn't know if the lead forms would perform as well on a link clicks campaign. And I was actually getting lead forms filled out, which is awesome. It's a little bit more difficult to find the lead form to hook up to like a Zapier, but if you're downloading them straight off the ad account, then it's super easy. It just downloads in the CSV file. But I saw a little more difficulty connecting with Zapier account, just in finding the lead form through an instant experience. But I know they're sure they're working on making that a little bit more seamless because it's new. But awesome for traffic, really low landing page views. So and we had a lot of retargeting going through it. And so we were under $25 a lead per retargeting off of that, I believe. And that's just retargeting just those people off the instant experience. So really good for filtering motivation. Awesome. All right. So today's training, so we'll hop into this. We've got a little bit of an engagement strategy with the audiences. So we're going to go over building the engagement audiences, how to increase your engagement audiences, which campaigns that I like to put them in, and kind of some strategy and creativity moving forward, as well as how to build the lookalike data off these engagements and the results that I've seen off of building them and which engagements I like to build lookalike data off of. So we'll go into here. The engagement audiences, these are the ones we have access to. There's one more on this page. We can kind of dive into it, but I didn't find it as relevant. But to get to these, you just go to your audiences tab, you hit create audience, and then you have access to all of this engagement on your Facebook page. So we've got video, lead forms, the full screen experience, which is the instant experience, or the Canvas ads. It just depends on what campaign it's in. It's named different in different campaigns.
Sorry, JT, just so I understand what's so on the full screen experience one, so that would be assuming that I had an instant experience. Mm-hmm. They clicked on it, but they didn't take an action in terms of going to my website or filling out the form, right?
Yeah, so depending on the instant experience, you can measure everything inside of it. So if they clicked on it, if they clicked through it, if they watched a video on it, if they filled the lead form out on it. So you'll be able to find, it'll help separate those into the video and lead form if there was one on it. But the full screen experience, like you said, is if they clicked on it and like landed on the full screen experience and their actions after that. So you can filter if they clicked through it onto like a link, you can make sure to like exclude anybody who already went to your website, filled out a form, that kind of stuff. But it's mainly for landing on it is what you would include in your engagement. And we'll go through that a little bit. So the other options as well is your Facebook page and your Instagram business profile. Those are your other engagement audiences. You have one more, which is anyone who's interacted with an event. So that could be really good if you are doing something like any events at the whole, like the wholesale deals you're already doing, or if you're going to do like an open house for a fix and flip, something like that, you can create an event about it. And anyone who interacts with that event, you can record who interacts and who likes, and you can actually promote it too. So awesome way to be able to get some potentials that are kind of in a different strategy realm. So like you said, these all have different options to be able to optimize for. So for example, like the video, what you can record are a percentage watch or a seconds watched. So when I'm creating my video engagement audience, I like to do it off of a seconds watched if I've got anything under 15 seconds. And for anything like a testimonial, I like to do it for a video through play, which is 15 seconds or more. So I like to see people who are going farther into the video, and that's what I kind of like record in an audience. I'll record all of them, obviously, just because I want to have them, but the ones I'll advertise to are usually the 15 seconds or more, because it's just a deeper motivation. But let's say if you're doing a lot of product videos, you're going to want to do this more off of a percentage watched. So if you only have like a 7-second video, I would do something like 50% of it watched. I would record that audience. And then
I've been doing a lot of those.
Yeah.
Ones. Yeah. The product ones.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I would definitely dive into this engagement. And we'll go a little bit deeper into how your product videos can turn into lookalike audiences and what performance I've seen on those. So that'll come a little bit deeper into this. Lead form, you want to create an audience for opened or like the opened and submitted and the open and not submitted. You want to make sure you have both of those because they'll be very important when it comes to retargeting. Your full screen experience, just recording anybody who's clicked on it and landed on the full screen or the instant. The Facebook, I like to interact. I make a full engagement audience for the last 365 days off of anybody who's interacted with my Facebook. That includes posts, pages, likes, but you can dissect that and create smaller sub audiences based off of any interaction that they can have on your Facebook or your Instagram pages.
Yeah, that's
what
crazy. That makes me want to just this lead that I told you about, her like following me. So yeah, I've definitely haven't been doing the Facebook page one.
Yeah, dude, I would definitely say that you're going to want to do that for sure. All right. So jumping in a little bit deeper here, we've got increasing engagement audiences. So there are ways, if you don't already have a big engagement audience, for you, Zach, you've already got quite a bit of engagement on your Facebook page. So, and you've been running ads for a while. So you are going to have a lot of engagement. So you may not want to be looking at these campaign goals as much, but they will come in handy as you're starting to create more lookalikes because you're going to want to get more engagement that's more motivated. So as time goes on, you may want to create some of these. For newer people, these are going to be very important on jump starting your campaigns. So if you guys are looking forward to like finding more people that are interested in engaging with you and sending you messages, comments, getting people to like your page, as well as finding people who are interested in just working with you, these are going to be really important. So some of these campaign goals that we like to do, obviously most of you have had experience with traffic and lead gen. We've trained once on video views with those product videos. Awesome campaign to set those product videos up in, because you can get, it's not hard to get video through plays for 10 cents a piece. So you guys can really, really get a lot of people watching these videos by putting them into a video views campaign. I would do this for something like testimonial videos or this like about us videos, and do that for to find motivation. So I would just record through plays, anyone who gets all the way through your video, and you'll find a lot more motivation. You might spend a little bit more money on that campaign to get people there, but for moving forward, this could be an awesome retargeting campaign. Post engagement, there you can do different page likes and event responses, as well as engagement on your post, whether it's likes, comments, and you can also do a messages campaign. If we haven't tested anything in the messages realm, because we've seen that a lot of investors are out there closing deals. They don't have time to sit on their Facebook and message back rapidly, which will increase your performance. But for somebody who has somebody managing their organic social media, or somebody watching that inbox at all times, it might be a good idea to jump into advertising more on the messages realm and the messages placement. That could be something that people might want to test in the future. But for where we're at right now, I feel really comfortable with and recommend the video views and the video views campaigns for engagement.
Yeah, and real quick, I just want to reiterate there on Messenger, it's number one, you've got to respond quickly because people kind of expect that in the realm of social media, or at least in a reasonable amount of time. If you think about how quickly you try to capture leads that come through your website, because you understand how quickly you need to capture them, that's a challenge a lot of investors have. Here's the other challenge too, is getting someone from Messenger on the phone, because the mentality of someone on Messenger is they're just going to chat it out, right? So just keep that in mind, that it is, I've seen and have heard that from other people as well, that it's harder to get someone from Messenger on the phone than it is to get someone from like a lead form or a website form on the phone. There's just a difference in mentality there.
Yeah, I could see that for sure, because I could see them just being like, "Oh yeah, here's my address. Like, what can you offer?" Or right. Something like that.
Yep. So you just got to keep that in mind. I mean, I think it's worth, if you're there, it's worth exploring, but absolutely something you got to keep in mind.
100%. All right. So jumping into this, these are a little bit about what we kind of covered on what we're going to want to include in our retargeting ad sets. And it's a little bit of a diagram on what audiences you're going to want to record. So I used the product image for this video views campaign. When you're doing the video views and you're doing a product image, most of them are about 6 seconds long. So you're going to want to record any audience that reviews for 3 seconds, and you're going to want to put that into your retargeting campaign. So this is all of the ad sets and the audiences that we're going to want to include in this retargeting campaign. So for lead forms, open and not submitted, Canvas experience, clicked and landed, Facebook page, any interaction. And we're going to want to do these for the most days that we can. Most of them are 365 to 180 days back. And we're going to include this all in our retargeting just to make sure we don't miss anybody who could possibly be on our page, and make sure that they get our ads. Really important side note, there are some audiences that you're going to want to create and exclude. I've looked at most of our investors' retargeting when I get it, or like some people in the inner circle, and I see a lot of people are missing the website leads. They're missing, they're excluded in their retargeting. So you need to make sure you exclude any website leads and any lead forms that have been submitted. If you don't exclude these, then you may be retargeting people that you've already turned into deals or leads, which, some people may want to, but for most people, if you've already talked to them, you may not want them still in your retargeting ad set. So I would take them out. And if you want to do a drip campaign, I would do that on something separate. I wouldn't include that on your normal retargeting for anybody who's engaged with you.
So that would be like obviously the ones that turned into deals, but would that still apply to somebody that you spoke with and like for whatever reason they wanted too much, or they were like a retail one? Would you still find a way to like take them off, or were you just talking about basically just the ones that were for sure deals?
I would take anybody who you've like spoken to, those type of leads, and put them in a different retargeting ad set, because this message is different than one that you've already spoken to them. You know, like a drip campaign is going to be different for people who've already talked to you versus people who haven't talked to you yet.
Okay.
And that's just, you know, that's working down that funnel in a motivation.
There's one easy way to do that is to simply exclude anyone who filled out a lead form. Like JT's saying here, if they filled out a lead form or if they hit your website and filled it out, then you can exclude those people. If you want to get a little more advanced, then you can, you know, only exclude the ones you haven't talked to, or you can kind of split those up. But that's a really easy way to do it. Basically, who has filled out a lead form and who hasn't.
Yeah. Awesome. Sweet.
JT, you might want to check. It looks like the meeting says it's going to do that. Can we set up for...
Hey, hold on just one sec, Zach. I'm just going to pause this for a sec.
You should be able to just click on that and click on the remaining meeting time right there. Oh no, don't upgrade the pro. That's not what you want.
It's saying that I'm not on a pro.
Oh, I should have started it. Just keep going. If it kicks you off, we'll create a new one.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, Zach. We just have a small little issue going on with the, with the Zoom meeting, but we'll work it out. It may kick us off. It may not. If it does, we'll give you a call back and make sure that we're there. So these are some of the times when I start to create lookalike audiences. So this is when I'm going to find when it's most beneficial to create a lookalike audience, because I've collected enough information that I can find motivated people. And my favorite lookalike audience so far has been a video views lookalike. I've seen it perform really, really well. And I wait until at least 1,000 views. If you can, and that depends, you know, on what you're like ranking as a view. So if you're doing product images, you're probably only going to do 3 seconds. So you're going to wait until you have 1,000 3-second views.